on one side of the panzer. Onto panzer, onto Gamser, Futter, palm strike, which I see mainly from the chest, and the punch. Right. Starting position, Tanso, and with Futter. If you do a Tanso again, make sure your Tanso stays through that. Tanso should always be thought of as a threat.
Right.
Not they. They use me over. They, I can't go because you feel that, but if you do straight out. Kind of hold it more with precision rather than strengthen the structure rather than the shoulder. I always say go for a palm strike to the chest. Some people go low down. Because I prefer to use palm strike, that jams down, rather than low down, that jams down. The reason being that this one is, all I'm really having to do is just put tension into my arm.
To deflect it.
To deflect it. Because from there, you punch through, and block. Come through, you come off
resistance.
That's it. If you do a low, and I go down to here,
bigger movement.
The big gap up over the top.
Yeah, could come over.
Could come over. To me, again, simplifying whatever, I much prefer from there, you try to do palm strike, I switch off. Next one is I switch off and punch until you get the bombs out.
Yeah.
That's your response to me. You drop back down with a tanso, I cover you with the full cell. You attack, I respond. I attack, you respond. And you relax back to the start again. You, me, back again. You, me, back again. What I'm trying to do is develop my response and my sensitivity. As soon as I feel something, there. I then go. You respond. And we get back to it. Again. As soon as I've punched, and I feel your bomb cells lifted, this hand is really not a punch. I would say it's more of a Fuchsau, I see, in this position, more like a big cell.
It's initiating a feeling kind of thing.
Well, that's it, because I felt that I can't punch, so there's no point in straightening the arm.
Yeah, you can get the feeling of knowing.
That's it. If I straighten the arm, you would have turned, right, because you always turn the bottom. Nah, wait, that is straight, so, okay, fair enough, then the arm's straight, it's easier to pull. But there's also a gap underneath as well. It means I'm a lot more
open. But while it's bent, you're covering more.
I can use my elbow. So my elbow's got more cover. So it's much more like, say, a ding set. So I much prefer the idea that this is now feeling. So it's more like a ding set. Once the punch has been unsuccessful, then it feels. It's ready to change. So from this ding cell, it goes to full cell.
So it's no longer necessary to carry the punch out.
Well, it's not, because I've got to stop. If I'm going to punch you and you block, I'm not going to try to punch through.
It's not logical to start with, and it serves no point.
Alright. So with your danchi, to me it's very important. So all you're really doing is you're learning this idea of switching on, switching off. You attack, I switch on. I switch off to attack, switch your energy into your elbow, your bounce. You drop back down into your cancer cover, and we'll repeat it again. And it's a response. Drop into your hands a lot quicker. You're lowering it down rather than flicking it down.
Okay.
It's all about switching on, switching on. So that's each of the three stages. That's what we're looking at. This area of switching on.
Yeah.
That's why I feel as though the danchi is very important. Even throughout the areas of doing a kisa.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult. If we're doing from there, if I'm like doing
Energies.
different energies, for you to be able to switch on and switch off using two arms, in the early stages you're going to be confused.
Yeah.
If you're confused, you're not thinking, you're not learning as easily. If you're doing it with one arm, it's much easier to think of it. If you count with two, just go and keep on running, right? And all of a sudden I'm sort of doing these types. Carry on. Just carry on with it, you know. And you've got this hand to think about, it's a distraction.
Right, yeah. But if you learn to build one arm.
If you just learn to think on from that, so you're learning to respond, so you learn you're simplifying what you're actually trying to do. That's why I also disagree with this idea of coming hard. Boom, bang, back
Not
down.
feeling that.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's why I also disagree with this. Because to me, the whole idea of Kiso is not to hit. It's not about hitting. It's about developing an understanding of movement and feelings and changes and responses and whatever. Of sensitivity. If I'm doing this all day, I'm trying to hit you, you're going to be more worried about getting hit than actually training for responses.
That's right. You're going to be concentrating on that alone.
Yes.
The ability to stop somebody eating.
Rather than developing your own responses that will help you later on. To do that,
That's right.
you're in a very early stage of development of your
Yeah.
sensitivity and your training. So keep it that way. Keep it simple. Keep it straightforward. Keep on training just this very simple idea. Rather than trying to build into it too many complicated things, right?
Yeah.
Rather than trying to, so we're doing danchi, so we do danchi, we've got the hand up from here. We're doing all this, carry on. And all of a sudden doing this. The way you're supposed to they change them, boom. And like changing, you know, trying to catch you out. There's no point, all you got to do, we are doing this. Wait for it. So you're waiting for it, so you're developing this idea of feeling and waiting for a response. Rather than anything else. So
No,
you're doing,
no.
that's it, so rather, you know, again, you're simplifying what you're actually trying to learn. You're pinpointing what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So what you're getting from it, an exercise, is something that's very simple, very straightforward, but it's very powerful. This idea about learning to respond to something, rather than running through a routine. It's the same with lap cell.